Good evening. The former Murray MP Angus Robertson has announced he's standing down as Deputy Leader of the SNP with immediate effect. He lost his constituency to a Conservative in last June's general election. Mr Robertson said he intends to pursue new career opportunities. Derek Crawshaw has more.
Angus Robertson was replaced as SNP Westminster leader by Ian Blackford after he lost his seat in last year's snap election. Today, Mr Robertson said he was tremendously honoured to have served as Nicola Sturgeon's number 2 in the party, also telling the First Minister he will always be there to help Scotland reach its full potential. Tweeting in response, the First Minister described him as an outstanding deputy leader and hoped to see him back in frontline politics in the future. In June, Mr Robertson lost the Murray constituency, which he'd represented since 2001, to the Conservatives' Douglas Ross. Derek Crawshaw, reporting Scotland.
The community of Tarbert will come together this evening to show their support for the families of 2 fishermen presumed drowned in Loch Fyne last month after their boat capsized. A candle will be lit at a service. It will stay lit until the men's bodies have been recovered. Katrina Renton reports.
Today, the Coast Guard continues its search for the 2 fishermen lost in Loch Fyne.
Since the initial searches, our volunteer Coast Guard rescue teams have been carrying out patrols both sides of Loch Fyne on a daily basis. And unless the situation changes, today will mark the end of our activity in support of Police Scotland.
On the 18th of January, the Nancy Glen was trawling for prawns when she got into trouble. One member of the crew was rescued by a passing boat. 2 men, the skipper Duncan McDougall and Shemek Kravchek, have never been found. Mr Kravchek originally came from Poland, but both men's families' homes were here in Tarbert.
It's been quite sad. The village has been quite quiet, and you meet people and they just don't know what to say because they've just been stricken with grief. It's been really disastrous for the village.
Money has been raised to support the families and to recover the Nancy Glen. Politicians have been asked to help get the vessel raised.
This evening the village is coming together. At the harbour a service will be held by the local churches and the Fishermen's Mission, and a candle will be lit up to guide the men home. Katrina Renton reporting Scotland, Tarbert.
A 29-year-old man suffered a serious arm injury after being stabbed outside a snooker club in Glasgow city centre last night. It happened outside Reardon's on Hope Street. Now sport and rugby, and a desperate start to Scotland for their Six Nations campaign, thrashed by Wales at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. 34-7 the final score. Scotland captain John Barclay said it was hard to take positives after a catalogue of errors. Andy Burke reports.
Well, Scotland arrived in Cardiff full of confidence after what was a hugely encouraging autumn test series, but any notion of a first win in this stadium in 16 years began to unravel very quickly. After a fairly positive start, the Scots were caught out on 7 minutes. Ali Price's loose pass picked off by opposite number Gareth Davies, who raced away to score. 5 minutes later, the Welsh struck again. A sustained period of pressure was rounded off by Lee Halfpenny, his first international try in 5 years. He didn't have long to wait for his next try, going over just after the hour to mark the end of the match as a contest. Steph Evans added another for Wales, and although Pete Horne scored late on for Scotland, it was little consolation on what was a chastening day.
A bit speechless. Just a lot of errors. In the autumn we played with a lot of accuracy and a lot of tempo, and today we tried to play with tempo, but we played with tempo and no accuracy. That's the end result. It's hard to find positives. I'm sure there will be some positives, but yeah, look, Wales were superb today. So yeah, well done to them, but we've got a lot of work to do.
Football, and in the Premiership, Kilmarnock inflicted Celtic's second league defeat of the season. Jordan Jones crossed for Yusuf Mulumbu to score the game's only goal in the second half. In the other matches, Aberdeen's win puts them 8 points behind Celtic. Rangers lost at home to Hibs. Bottom side Ross County won away at Dundee. Now, what's the weather going to be like for the rest of the weekend? Here's Judith with the forecast.
Thank you very much. Quite a settled look to the weekend. A very good evening to today. It was a bit of an all or nothing day. If you look at the earlier satellite picture, this band of cloud across much of the UK and indeed Scotland, producing some rain, some sleet and hill snow as well over higher ground. But in the west, beautiful sunshine here and reflected in our Weather Watchers pictures. A lovely sunset from the west coast, but we saw some snow over higher parts of the borders. Now, as far as this evening is concerned, the east will continue to see outbreaks of rain, sleet and hill snow as well. It'll be light and patchy in nature, but it will become largely dry overnight. Long clear spells in the west, a widespread frost here, but a cold night everywhere. Lows typically of around about freezing to 1 Celsius with light winds. A risk of a few icy patches as well on untreated surfaces. So a largely dry day tomorrow. Cloudier in the east initially, that cloud thinning and breaking as we head through the day. Plenty of sunshine in the far north and the northwest, eventually becoming bright and sunny across a good part of western Scotland. And in fact, the rest of the UK is looking settled. A lot of dry weather in the forecast. The cloud thinning and breaking to give some sunshine. It will feel cold. Quite a brisk northeasterly wind down towards East Anglia and the southeast corner as well, bringing 1 or 2 showers elsewhere, predominantly dry. Now, as far as the rest of the afternoon and the early evening is concerned in Scotland here, very little change. It's dry, and under clearing skies we'll see a fairly widespread frost forming as we head through tomorrow night. Now, a ridge of high pressure building in tomorrow and into Monday, meaning a lot of dry weather. We're keeping our eye on this weather front as it moves in on Monday night. It could bring a spell of snow on Tuesday. And that's your forecast, Sally.
Thanks very much, Judith. And that's all from Reporting Scotland for now. Gordon Brewer will be here with Politics Scotland from 11:30 tomorrow morning. We're back with more at 6:20. From everyone here, that's it. Have a very good evening.